General Keane, we were talking about these nuclear exercises, and I want to ask you about Belarus because it feels like they're going to play more of a role in Putin's ambitions, and there's some concern about what kind of weapons may end up there, what kind of weapon systems. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Belarus is a conscious attempt by Putin to bring them under his orbit. You know, Lukashenko was having problems with his own population. He was the longest-serving dictator in Europe. And many times he stuck a finger in Putin's eye, and they didn't have a very good relationship. But what was going to happen is, as a result of a fraudulent election, the people were in the streets, much as they were against Yanukovych, who was Putin's stooge in Ukraine back in 2014. And when Putin saw that, he put troops in there under the guise of training that makes certain a situation was stabilized. And over time, it's taken a little bit, about a year, he has brought Lukashenko really underneath his wing. And he is now in Russia's orbit, and Belarus will be indefinitely. I believe they will absolutely leave Russian troops in Belarus over time. And the reason is to intimidate and undermine NATO, because right next to Belarus is what? Poland and the Baltic states. And you saw Lukashenko weaponize immigration to undermine Poland when there was an exodus coming out of the Middle East. So yes, this is a relationship. Putin has accomplished what he's wanted. Right. Belarus is now under his sphere of influence, and it's not going away. I think eventually, not too long from now, he'll get rid of Lukashenko and get somebody else in there that's more on the same page with Putin than Lukashenko has been in the past. I want to add something here. Sure. We're about to experience something that we likely have never had before, and that is, if there is an invasion, and if Biden follows through on his economic sanctions and Nord Stream 2, as he has promised, and I do think hopefully he comes through with that. I do have some question marks about their resolve. But if that happens, it's likely that Putin will conduct a cyber attack on the United States to reciprocate for the sanctions imposed on them. And that would be the first time that we're experiencing cyber warfare in connection with Connecticut warfare. And the reality is, while we're not directly involved in the Ukraine warfare, we are supporting the Ukrainians on the ground. And then indirectly, certainly, we're going to be the recipient of a cyber attack. And that has potential, Charles, for escalation, because we will respond. And we have eye-watering capability in terms of our offensive capability. And we successfully thwarted the Russians in 2018 during the midterm elections when they attacked us, and we took them off the screen. And President Trump, the highly classified operation, revealed that in an interview. We did it again in 2020. Right. So we have capability here. And as you move into that arena, this is different. We have never been down that road before. And it has potential, certainly for cyber escalation. Could it lead to something else?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.